All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Monique Moyer. I have the honor of being the Port Director of San Francisco, and it is my pleasure on behalf of the Port Commissioners and the Port staff to welcome you back to the San Francisco Port and this historic Pier 48. Pier 48, as you may know, was one of the last piers built right before World War II. It was built in concert with Pier 45 and Fisherman's Wharf in recognition of the changes in technology that was happening in cargo movement. And those changes were stimulated by the fact that we had just had 2 bridges opening up here in the bay, and our opportunities to move cargo changed from just being by vessel or by rail to also being by truck. And so Pier 48 here, as you can see, is much like all the other piers you're familiar with. It's a long transit shed. It has a great large and long apron for the cargo to be moved by man over ship, stored in here, and then out into distribution. The difference of Pier 48 from some of the others that you know is that on this side, there's actually a second transit shed with the other apron, and in the middle, there is a long divide, and that's where the rail cars and the trucks came in to pick up the transit, the cargo. Across the way is Seawall Lot 337, which was filled in by the Santa Fe Railway in order to create a new headquarters for their train movements, which would then go down the peninsula and out into the greater California and Midwest area. Seawall Lot 337, affectionately known as Lot A, and Pier 48 have been designed to go together since their inception. And so, as you know, the Port of San Francisco has been working for many years with our community stakeholders and our partners, led by the San Francisco Giants, to envision a new excitement to this area, a new energy and a new utilization, and one that is befitting of the Port of San Francisco's worldwide reputation for having successfully married uses such as maritime commerce with regular retail commerce, with residential, and with recreation. There is no other port in the world that is doing it at quite the level that San Francisco is doing it. And we have such a great opportunity to blur the lines between neighborhood and jobs and have them coexist together. It is, in fact, somewhat visionary and something that we get complimented on all the time. And so we've picked the perfect partners in the San Francisco Giants, people who have shown their vision and their entrepreneurial spirit now since the 1980s, and keep highlighting that with a few well-placed wins now and then, and championships and World Series trophies, which we're very pleased about. And they've again shown their great vision and entrepreneurial spirit by picking themselves a new partner. And that partner is Anchor Brewers and Distillers, a San Francisco iconic firm that has championship craftsman beer, something we would today call San Francisco made. And so it is my honor to introduce all of the many dignitaries that are here today. I first like to recognize Mayor Ed Lee, Supervisors Carmen Chu, Jane Kim, and Malia Cohen, the women block, as we say, CEO of the Giants, Larry Baer, Port Commission President Doreen Woo Ho, former Port Commissioner Michael Hardiman, Fire Chief Ken Lombardi, San Francisco Hotel Council Kevin Carroll, San Francisco Chamber of Commerce Jim Lazarus, somewhere in the room, there he is. San Francisco Maid, we have Katie's office, and we have Sarah Karlinski from Spur. As well as many of our neighborhood leaders. I saw Mike Bishop from our southern waterfront and Katie Liddell from our central waterfront, Alan Jonk from our Maritime Commerce Advisory Committee, and of course, all of you who I hope are not only San Francisco Giants fans, but fans of homemade beer here in San Francisco. And so it is my great honor to introduce yet another entrepreneurial spirit, someone you may know already, sorry about that. Mr. Greger was born and raised in the United Kingdom. He then moved to Singapore at the age of 9. He has lived in amazing cities around the world, so he brings with him an international spirit, but also a passion for San Francisco. He and his partner, Tony Foglio, are known for building up the best brands and keeping them both emerging but honoring their roots. And so I can't think of a better tenant and partner for this historic Pier 48 than Anchor Brewers and Distillers. And I'd like you to join me in welcoming Keith Greger.
Thank you, Monique. Is everybody warm enough? This is great weather for making beer. Anchor is one of America's oldest breweries, with our origins going back to the gold rush. By 1896, the famous Anchor Steam brand emerged, a real San Francisco icon, and only 117 years old at the moment. Not that those years passed easily. Earthquakes, fire, prohibition, and bankruptcy all stood in the way. But they would not end our history. An Anchor Brewing Company has called 6 locations in this city home. And today I'm thrilled to announce our 7th home here at Pier 48. Anchor's modern revival began in 1965 at a time when mass-marketed simple beers seemed unstoppable. With Anchor facing bankruptcy, a young Fritz Maytag was intrigued by the brewery and its history and took over to ensure he could continue to get his favorite brew, Anchor Steam. At that time, nobody knew that his innovations over the next decade would originate the craft beer movement, making Anchor America's first craft brewery. Perhaps we should not be surprised that the craft beer movement began in San Francisco. After all, innovation, cultural evolution, and taste preferences are part of this great city's DNA. Today, we will still remain true to our traditional brewing methods. Our beers stand out in quality, taste, and originality. And most importantly, they are still made in San Francisco. Craft beer has gone global. Drinking an Anchor Steam in Sydney or London or Singapore, our fans are not only choosing a great tasting beer, but one with the reassurance that it's true to its origin. It's the real deal. It's San Francisco's beer. In 1979, Anchor began brewing in its 6th location at the bottom of Potrero Hill. Today, we see our sales development soon exceeding our production capacity. So we need a second brewery. And to stay true to all of the values that we hold, we knew that that second brewery had to be in San Francisco itself. We are still a small company, and also knew that such an undertaking could be overwhelming for us. Fortunately, the support we found from others was overwhelming too. Everybody took on a can-do attitude, and I'd like to extend my enormous gratitude to the ports and to the mayor's office for their help in getting us here today. Also to our friends the Giants, who really do know and recognize and value San Francisco's icons. These welcome attitudes reflect the heart and soul of the city towards Anchor. And for that, I would like to thank all the people of San Francisco for their huge support for their city's brewery. Pier 48 will enable us to quadruple our capacity and assure Anchor's future on the global beer stage. Beyond building a brewery, we want to create a new San Francisco destination that will become a must-see attraction for locals and visitors alike. Adding to that experience, we will have a restaurant, a museum, a visitor center, and an educational facility, thus creating a center of excellence for brewing and distilling. We are less well known for our pioneering history of artisanal distilling, yet the demand for our products there has also outstripped capacity, and Pier 48 offers us the opportunity to expand both brewing and distilling. We envisage a bustling pier within the Mission Rock development, one that will eventually take advantage of waterborne commerce with raw materials coming in and exports going out, where people can wander around, peering through the observation windows, seeing our beer being made, where hundreds of people go there to work, elevating not only Anchor, but the city of San Francisco itself. Pier 48's future is enormously exciting. Now, I'd like to turn our attention to our big brother. The Giants are a truly amazing enterprise, and winning takes on many forms, not just winning at the plate, but delivering the best ballpark experience possible, along with winning the hearts and minds of its incredible fan base. The vision for what a ballpark could be and its impact on this historic district has been nothing short of amazing. And for their enthusiasm and support, I thank them greatly. I think the vision that they've had for their ballpark at AT&T will continue here at Mission Rock and again exceed expectations. Their support is very reassuring, and I'm thankful for that. But I suspect it's more than that. Brews and baseball go hand in hand. And since opening Anchor Plaza at the ballpark, it is no coincidence that the Giants have continued to amass trophies. So it is with that supportive reminder, I have the honor of introducing the CEO of the world's best baseball team, Larry Baer.
Thank you so much, Keith. If you would stay up for a second, we greatly value this partnership, and as you say, it has coincided. We've been partners for 3 years, and we've won 2 out of 3. Sorry about 2011. We'll work on that.
There was nothing wrong with our beer that year.
And so just a small token of our great appreciation for the partnership and this new venture that'll be for decades and decades long, maybe a century long or more, as you've been around greater than a century. This Giants jersey, now we had to modify it. If we put 48, you might get confused with Pablo Sandoval if we just had the 48. So it's Anchor 48, and you'll wear it proudly. Please wear it proudly. We're thrilled to have you as part of our team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keith. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out today. And I'd like to, in addition to thanking Keith and the great team at Anchor, I'd like to especially join with Anchor and Keith in thanking the mayor, Mayor Lee, and his office, and the Port of San Francisco, and everybody who has conspired with us to make this happen. It's a great day for San Francisco. I think often about the fact that one of the things that makes San Francisco unique is that we can have a wonderful manufacturing company here making real products tied to being the center of innovation, and they do it in a way that is very innovative. And here we are in a neighborhood that, thanks to all the wonderful people in the city, is a bustling neighborhood of technology and biotech with UCSF right up the street. And it's just a pleasure to be a San Franciscan in this day and age. In terms of our project, we're very excited about the fact that Anchor really represents the first major tenant and really the kickstart to our Mission Rock project. And for us, it's the perfect partnership. I think we've been around a while, 1958, but obviously that pales comparison to Anchor, and as you see right here on the podium, 1896. As Keith mentioned, they're a longtime partner of the Giants, going back to Candlestick Park days, and that partnership has grown and blossomed. And Anchor Plaza was launched in 2010, and we won in that year. So we're going with the team that helps us win baseball games as well. This project is interesting in that it's about 20% of the total square footage, or the 20% of the total size of the project, and about 5% of the total square footage of Mission Rock. and it will serve in many ways as the front door to the Mission Rock project. People will see it as they come to games. People will see it as they come to the neighborhood. Just a reminder, the Mission Rock project is something that we feel is going to be a major asset to this city and to this neighborhood, of which we have a very, very long-term, thankfully, lease with the city at AT&T Park. When fully built out, we see this including more than 8 acres of parks and open space, sort of a this side of town miniature version of Crissy Field, between 650 and 1,500 residential units, between 1 million and 1.7 million square feet of office, and of course a parking structure to accommodate ballpark visitors. In addition, about 250,000 square feet of retail, restaurants, and public amenities. And as you know, the Anchor team will be presenting a brew pub and restaurant to folks coming to visit and before and after ball games. So we see this as our newest neighborhood, a wonderful newest neighborhood in San Francisco, a wonderful addition to the city, and we are very thrilled to have Anchor going forward with us for, I don't think it's decades, for maybe another century, at least a century to come, right, Keith? So with that, I'd like to bring up a man very much responsible for the wonderful growth of these businesses and these neighborhoods in San Francisco, and somebody that we're indebted to for all of his leadership for the city, the mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, Ed Lee.
Thank you, Larry. Good morning, everybody. It's really exciting to be here this morning. I know our city administrator, Naomi Kelly, and Jen Matz, who's the project director, are here today to join Doreen and Monique, our supervisors, Cohen, Chu, and Kim, for the free samples, Keith. On this kind of day, we were actually looking forward to the old distillery, the Bacharel Rye. We were looking forward to that. That'll keep us warm, right? But it's unique. When you look at the history of those years with Fritz Maytag in the 70s, and I was in law school during that time, and I won't tell you how much beer I drank, being a Cal Berkeley guy. But Larry, I compare what the Giants went through in their history and what Anchor went through in their history, and you see some similarities. We almost lost both companies, and then they rebounded, and then now they're kind of in their years of fantastic support, growth, and they're both, in my opinion, you make in San Francisco, and that's a great name, Anchor. You're the anchor tenant of this. You've been our largest manufacturer, but I also associate you with the Giants because they're the manufacturer of World Series championships, and so there's a great combination there. And I'm so glad to see the combination here where you're going to be able to increase jobs, 200 additional jobs right here in this shed in Pier 48. And then for Monique and I, who've for years talked about how to get investments going on the piers, because if you know the history of this pier along with all the other piers, we've kind of had to settle for warehouse of different companies or even government agencies. They were the warehouses, and that's what President Ho has been struggling with, is how do we get our real estate on the port to be activated and bringing down people, and that's what our movement in the city has been all about with our public-private partnerships, our business relationships, and of course the Giants led it with AT&T Park down here in the whole waterfront. It's really been exciting to see that, bringing people to the waterfront, seeing all of the avenue electrified on it, and then now bringing that spirit down along the waterfront, and to have it complemented with all the things that Larry talked about. In addition, Main and SF is going to be a huge component of our Pier 70, another project that Jen's working on as well. So this is all part of a master plan, and I have to admit, it was over a year and a half ago that Larry told me in confidence, told me I couldn't say anything about it, but he mentioned Anchor's team might come down to the pier, but you can't jinx it. You can't say anything about it. And that was at the time in 2010 when we were together a lot celebrating our first World Series in many, many years. We're already whispering about this possibility, and to see it happen is fantastic. And to see it happen with a homegrown company like Anchor Steam, and to have it and have your iconic symbol to be just in play with the port is fantastic as well. So I see all of that happening, and again, I have to say to Larry and to Keith and to the port and to all of our project managers, we're still very lucky as a city, and I even think even the Board of Supervisors know how lucky we are to not only gain the attraction of world status with our championship baseball, but also you got to understand, Anchor Steam is no longer a craft beer that's just manufactured like many of the microbreweries we see all across the country. They're literally being requested, and today I even brought a friend who wants to send containers of your beer to China like tomorrow. And they're wanting to make that connection. And of course, as soon as I mentioned that to Keith, he goes, they'll have to stand in line. I got 17 countries that want, that beer as well. So we have a great market. It's not just local San Francisco. It is about where we are in our place today. And that Anchor and the World Series Giants and our Port of San Francisco are on the map, but they are the international hub for everything to happen. And that when we make things in San Francisco, and this is the real pitch, that we make it for the whole world. We don't just make it for local consumption. Whether it's clothing or confection or food, everybody is asking, what do you have that's made in San Francisco? Because we want it in China, in India, in Japan, in Europe, all over the place, because it means quality. It means well-manufactured products. It means people that enjoy their craft and what they do. It also means a lot of local people get a lot of jobs out of this as well. So with this, I will go quickly to the samples and enjoy the day properly. And if I can be joined by all the cameramen and women, I'm sure our media will enjoy all the free samples as well. Thank you very much. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Bear and Mr. Greger. Thank you all for your tremendous work and vision. It's great to see everybody coming together. Before I introduce our next speakers, I'd just like to take a moment to recognize two fabulous city department heads who I neglected to mention. My profuse apologies. First and foremost, our city administrator, Naomi Kelly, and thank you. And our head of waterfront development in the Office of Economic and Workforce Development, Jennifer N. Tyne-Matz, in the back of the room. Thank you all for joining us. It is my honor to introduce two more very stalwart partners. We would not be able to move forward here at the Port of San Francisco without enjoying the support of our Board of Supervisors, and particularly those supervisors whose districts adjoin our waterfront. And it is my honor to work with these two ladies on a regular basis. They are both incredibly committed to the constituencies they serve, but also the broader San Francisco and Bay Area constituencies. They both come at their jobs from different perspectives, but with the common goal that there is something here in San Francisco for everyone. And with their guidance and their input, they help to make us great, just like we have the opportunity to do so today. And so please join me in welcoming Supervisor Jane Kim and Supervisor Malia Cohen from Districts 6 and 10, respectively.
Good morning. I was reminded this morning as the mayor was announcing different members of the city family that are here, Naomi Kelly, Monique Moyer, Jen Matz, the supervisors, including Supervisor Carmen Chu, is that the mayor does like to travel with the ladies. But it is, in all honesty, it's great to be here today. Anchor Steam is actually my favorite San Francisco made beer. It's always the beer that I grab for when I'm going to a friend's house or to mine. Not that this is a plug, but I think it's really important that we support local manufacturing here in San Francisco. This is a local product. It's been here for over a century, and it's just amazing that Anchor Steam has been so committed to the city and really is an ambassador for San Francisco throughout the country and throughout the world. And so it's even more appropriate to partner with another great ambassador of this town, and that is the San Francisco Giants. As we look at developing this portion of District 6, which includes Mission Bay, we have to recognize the history that was here before much of the development came, and that was a lot of the manufacturing and warehouses. And even 12 years ago, I remember coming here to shop for furniture and other local wares. And so it's exciting that as we develop this part of the city, which can manage a lot more density, that we also include and partner with the local manufacturing. And SF Made is an incredible collaborative here that is working to keep local manufacturing and actually increase that part of the sector, which is also a different type of economy and jobs for San Francisco, which we greatly need. So I'm excited to, in a short amount of time, to welcome this development to this part of the district. And I was actually reminded that it wasn't that long ago, on a very nice and sunny day, that we also were able to be here with the Giants to announce this new development here on Seawall Lot 337. So excited for this partnership, and also excited to work with Supervisor Cohen that borders this part of Mission Bay, and to ensure that we are able to develop this complete and exciting new neighborhood. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here with you. Now, I just want to say we are officially in District 6. If we were in District 10, we would be in sunshine and it'd be warm weather. There'd be no sun. But since we're at Pier 48, we're in District 6. However, Pier 70 in District 10, there will be sunshine, I promise. I too share the mayor's excitement, the port's excitement, Supervisor Kim's excitement to stand here with the Giants and one of San Francisco, actually District 10's oldest business, Anchor Brewers and Distilleries, to make this announcement today. Now, I can't make a bold statement and say that it is my favorite, because I cannot play favorites, because we have another brewery, as you know, in Bayview. So forgive me if I am diplomatic. But one thing I want to really key on is that oftentimes when we talk about the development of the city, particularly of the southeast neighborhoods, we're always talking about it in terms of attracting new businesses and new projects. What's unique about today is that we're actually emphasizing the expansion of a San Francisco business that's already based here today, that's already growing and expanding. And so that makes this announcement even more exciting. Anchor's been a part of San Francisco and Potrero Hill for decades. And so this is a great partnership to have it right here in Pier 48. Jane, you're welcome. I'm just sharing a little bit of the magic. You sense a little competition here. Maybe it's just on my part. I don't know. But nonetheless, it is very fortuitous that we're here today. I want to say thank you to Keith Gregor. Thank you for your vision and your leadership. And also to the Giants. Larry, thank you very much for your leadership. And Mayor, go Giants. All right. Thank you.
Aren't they great? Thank you very much, supervisors, for being here and huddling together to stay warm. And lastly, it is my honor to introduce the president of the Port Commission, Commissioner Doreen Wu Ho, a very international woman who brings a lot of entrepreneurial talent and history and flair to our commission, and we are again very lucky to have her as a member of our team, and I hope you will join me in welcoming President Doreen Wu Ho.
Good morning. And since I'm standing here between your tasting, I won't be very long. But I have been on the Port Commission now almost 2 years, and I want to first acknowledge that I had some fellow commissioners who have been working on this project as far as looking at this part of San Francisco. And so in 2006, fellow commissioners at the time, Ann Lazarus and Commissioner Kim Brandon, were asked to develop a community task force. And so what you're seeing here today is really the result of a lot of years of effort and work on part of the port, working with the community, with the mayor's office, and with the Board of Supervisors to come up with a plan that makes this today what is a reality. I think this is an extremely auspicious beginning. We are still in sort of the 9th or 10th day of Chinese New Year, so I think it's very important that we recognize that this is a great beginning for Mission Rock and for Anchor Steam in terms of, I have visited the brewery and it was a wonderful tour, so I couldn't be more excited. And as the mayor said, we are trying to activate the waterfront, and projects like Pier 48 and Mission Rock exemplify exactly what we're trying to do, which is combine many, many diverse uses in terms of whether it's manufacturing jobs, maritime, and I can't think of a better combination we have right now with both of our hometown heroes with the Giants and Anchor Steam to bring together a project that will really make the waterfront. I really think it's a renaissance that we're seeing. I sometimes talk to the port staff and say, gosh, another press conference, because we're always announcing something new on the waterfront, and I can't say it's so exciting to be part of this effort. As I said, in terms of all the work that's gone in, I want to recognize the port staff for all their hard work in coming together, and the mayor's office and Jennifer Mattson working with us in terms of all the projects that we have, and this one just exemplifies so many different purposes and all the commercial uses, the maritime uses, and this great space. And I just can't wait to see when Anchor Steam is here and doing the tours, because they're limited in terms of how many people they can take through, and this is going to be a tourist attraction. As I said, this is a great beginning, and it isn't the end, but we have so many more things coming. As you know, the Exploratorium is going to be opening up soon as well. So we have a lot of more announcements down the road, and I just want to thank everybody, and including all of the partners, and I'm very happy to be able to sort of participate this and help facilitate what we expect over the next decade. It's just a more exciting sort of waterfront for San Francisco and for the benefit of the city, its citizens, and for the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Really appreciate all of your remarks. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived where we get to actually raise a glass. And for those of you who don't mind the chill, we'll actually maybe taste a little bit before going back and being inspired at your own desk. Any of you that work for the port, that's a no-no. Oh, Larry says the Giants too. But he'll be on the down low, so you have my blessing. So if I may invite all of our speakers and Supervisor Chu to join us right here in front, and we will do the honors of toasting our way into the future.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I know, exactly. We put the label out, right, Keith?
Yeah, that's
Keep
right.
Label out. Okay.
Label out, so it's a good one.
Should we count, or because if we don't count now, we won't count it later.
Well, we're going to do the
All right.
Okay.
How about
Cheers. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3.
Chug it.
Chug it, chug it.
All right.
My breakfast beer.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Very nice.
Monique, go. Gotta make good deals.
Cheers. Smells great.
Cheers. Cheers. Mayor's gonna get all this legislation.
Participants will be available for questions offline. Thank you very much.